right, you guys, I was going to do this video for you in one fell swoop. Like, I was going to go through and do a video sharing with you my first 7 days using the Trim Healthy Mama eating plan, and I couldn't wait. Honestly, I couldn't wait. First of all, because I have to share these results with you. I'm so excited. Second of all, it was really long and it took a long time to record all of the stuff that I did record. I'm going to share a little bit of that with you today, but I just had to give you guys like a right now update. So I'm going to get this out to you right now. And because I'm so excited, because truly when I started this program, I have to be honest with you guys, I was very skeptical and kind of a little bit calloused, because I've been there, done that, like, right? We've diet cultured ourselves to death. Like, we've done it all, right? So like, I know. So I've tried everything. I've succeeded at some stuff and done really well. And I've failed at a lot more than I've succeeded. And I hadn't been doing very good prior to starting Trim Healthy Mama. Now, before I get started, just sharing with you guys what I did, I just want to tell you that probably starting in August or September of this year, I just really started battling depression big time because of what's going on with my dad. Really, he's sick. And then my son moving out and going to college, that was such a life change and transition. And like, I just was dealing with a lot of stuff. So I wasn't dealing with it well, mind you. and I'm still not. There's days that I'm like, oh, it's just hard. It's sad and I'm struggling. But I think that learning to cope in healthier ways is what I am working on. And if you guys have been hanging around my channel for a while, you know that I'm a counselor and a mental health coach. So it's not like I don't know the things. It's just a matter of actually finding what works for me and then not going back to the same unhealthy habits or the same unhealthy like patterns, whether that's a thought pattern or something physical that I'm doing that leads to an unhealthy result. Okay, so I just wanted to say all of that, but I'm going to share with you guys what I did with Trim Healthy Mama, because when I started to hear about this was right about the same time that I was like going downhill and not doing really well, eating the way that I should. And I was kind of finding myself slowly but surely going to all the foods that I know I shouldn't be eating, because they were kind of filling that void for even a moment. And I was just kind of numbing out, also just at this point where I really didn't care as much as I knew that I should care about myself because of everything that was going on. It was like I was in this constant state of just survival. And when you get in that place, it's a hard place to get out of unless you have help and you can reach out to other people. And that's what I eventually did. It just took me a little while. While I was in that state, I ate like all the time terrible foods like fast foods, and I started going back to my unhealthy habits of eating at night, which I had kicked for a long time, and I was really thankful for that. But then I kind of went back, like I pushed through the like lack of desire. Like I didn't even want to eat at night, but I was like, no, you are eating at night because that's what you're gonna do. And it was like I didn't even really want to at first, but I just kept pushing through that feeling of not really wanting to and doing it to where it started becoming a habit again. It's really crazy how our minds work when we're trying to break or make a habit. But we won't get into all that in this video. But what I do want to talk to you about is my results on Trim Healthy Mama. So Trim Healthy Mama is I don't even know what they call it. It's not really a diet, okay, guys? Like, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but Trim Healthy Mama is supposed to be an easy does-it approach to vibrant health and a slim waistline, which sounds pretty diety to me, at least. Like, I'm like, well, that sounds like a diet to me. So I was really skeptical when my friend brought this to me in August, September time, somewhere around in there. And she just kind of started talking to me about it, and she's like, hey, this has been really working for me. I started this plan in April after I was diagnosed with diabetes after having COVID, and I've lost 40 pounds. And that was like, I think of a 5-month or 6-month stint, and she had lost 40 pounds. So it was a little less than 10 pounds a month. And I was like, well, you got to tell me about Trim Healthy Mama. So I don't know, I guess it's been around a while. It's just not anything that I've ever heard of. But the premise of the program is they want you to discover what they call food freedom. And food freedom at first was just like that. Food freedom? Sure. Where I'm like, I don't really think that actually exists, but sure, we'll see what you're talking about. And so I spent a long time reading this really thick book that I just showed you guys right here. See how thick that is? That's pretty thick. And going through reading people's blogs online, because apparently it's been around for a little while, and apparently there's a humongous community of women that are on board with Trim Healthy Mama. I just didn't know about it yet. So I was a little late. But the premise is, after you kind of learn what food freedom means for you, is that there's the specific way of eating, and then there's no food that's not on, like there's nothing that's off limits. You can eat pretty much anything you want, but it's in the way that you do it. And of course, you know, within reason, within common sense. We're not talking about like going out and eating Big Macs every day, or, you know, sitting down and downing half a bag or a whole bag of Doritos every night. We're not talking about that. We're talking about within reason, like butter, sour cream, mayonnaise. Like you should be able to eat cheese. You should be able to eat carbs like breads. You should be able to eat like all the things, because I have tried so many different things before, like low carb diets or no carb diets, and actually gained weight. And it was really frustrating to me because I was like, I'm doing all the things, but I'm getting fatter. What's up with that? So I needed something that incorporated all of the stuff, and I found it with Trim Healthy Mama. So what they teach you is that there's S meals, there's E meals, and then there's things in between. And I'm learning, like this is all brand new to me. So that's why I am documenting my journey. That's why I'm sharing with you guys what I'm learning as I'm learning it. And hopefully this will help you along the way if you decide you want to try it for yourself, or if you've been on it a while and you get frustrated. Like, just be encouraged. It's a learning process, and anything new takes time to learn and feel comfortable doing. So an S meal it stands for satisfying. Basically your high fat meal. So S meals are going to be high in fats, like coconut oil, cheese, like think keto type of food, right? Like higher fat, lower carb. Then there's the E meal that I mentioned before, and an E meal, it stands for energizing. And an energizing meal is your higher carb, low fat meal. And then again, there's these things in between called like fuel pools and all this stuff, and we'll talk about that later. But basically they try to put terminology to everything to help you easily remember it. But at first it's a little confusing. So that's why it took me months of research, months of figuring it out, months of trying to do before I even attempted to begin the program. And what I wanted to share with you guys, and what I'm gonna share with you on Saturday here on my channel, is that kind of process of what it looked like to go through a week of eating like this. But trying to kind of figure out why you don't want to eat a meal that has high fat and high carbs in it at the same time is important. And they call those crossover meals. Like your kids would eat crossover meals, or your really skinny husband could eat crossover meals, where they may be eating really high carb, really high fat all in one meal. We, the ones that are trying to lose weight and get to a healthy level, or are fighting health concerns like diabetes, or health concerns like high blood pressure, or a myriad of other things, like we need to be paying attention to making sure that we are eating those at specific times in groups. So like for breakfast, for instance, you might have an S breakfast, and then you're gonna have an E lunch, and then you're gonna have an S dinner, and then you might have dessert right after dinner. So, and then a snack in between, which is like a fuel pool. And these fuel pools are great. Like you can eat a lot of food on a fuel with a fuel pool. But again, I don't want to get into all that. That's kind of confusing, and I don't want to confuse you. I want to keep this really basic as much as possible right now. And again, I will continue to talk about these things here on this channel, because I am stoked, y'all, at the results of doing this after 7 days. So I want to tell you guys what I've experienced, and then my results. And then Saturday when I post my video, what it is going to be is just not me talking to you like this. Is going to be me talking over the top of what I did all week. So I'm going to show you some meals that I prepared. They're going to be done really fast. We're not going to go through those really slow. And then I'm just going to talk to you about my experience and some of the things that I learned throughout the process as well. And I'm going to post that out there for you guys on Saturday. But in the future, I'm going to continue to share with you guys in slower videos what I'm actually creating. Like if I make a no-bake cookie, which are the bomb and my favorite things to eat so far, I ate them all last week, or skinny chocolate, or if I'm making, you know, I don't know, just something fun and delicious that I want to stop and record and kind of share with you in a slower pace, I'm going to do that type of stuff here as well. But So I'm gonna, you know, I'm not like a cooking channel by any means, but I'm gonna be showing you guys what I'm doing and hopefully just giving you some encouragement along the way, some ideas for some healthy meals that you can create on your own. But just remember the premise of the program, even though it does seem a little confusing if you're new to Trim Healthy Mama, because it's very confusing to me and I'm still learning it as well. But this helped me. What I did this past week helped me so much, which I'm gonna tell you in a second. But to know that if you're gonna have a meal that has high fat, don't have high carbs. But it doesn't mean you can have any carbs. I know, just low carb, okay? If you're gonna have a meal that has high carbs, you just need to have low fat. Like a little bit of fat's okay, but low fat. And make that your meal, and then the center of all of your meals is just protein. So you pick a protein and then you pick either fat or carbs to put with it, and then vegetables, of course, that's normal. So I'm gonna show you guys on Saturday like how that looks, like what kind of meals I ate and everything like that. But in the book, after you get kind of through the really thick first half of the book, they end up going into, you know, they talk a lot about different foods. They talk a lot about how different foods affect your body, and like how okra is helpful for certain things, or how to hide okra in your meals if you hate okra like me, that type of thing. After you get through all of that, they have these chapters that will allow you to have a sample menu, which is exactly what I needed. So what I did to get started, now you don't have to do this long term, this is just to help you get started. If you're someone like me who really likes to have it laid out for you, here it is, and that's definitely me. So I just wanted to test it, okay? So I just took this menu on what they call the drive-through Sue menu, and I went through the entire thing, and they have it listed out for you, day 1, 2, 3, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then you pick your snacks, whatever you want to have. There's not a lot of like, you have to eat this or that. And they even say in this chapter, like you can see I highlighted it everywhere, they even say in here like, hey, we don't even like doing this to tell you eat this, eat that, eat that. But for those of you who really need it, who really need to have that in your life, here it is in case you want to use it. And I thought, yeah, that would be me, because I don't quite understand the concept of all of this. So once I did it for a week, I get a much better understanding of how it works, because the way that I learn is I have like the all learning levels. Like I have to see it, read it, and do it all to really get it. So I'm not lucky like some of you who maybe could just read it and go with it, or see it and they know it. I have to do both, and then I have to actually do it. So that was helpful for me. So if that's helpful for you, great. This is just one of, I think, 3 books that they have also. But again, this is the front cover of the one that I have here. And this book I found on Amazon, and I'll link in the description below, and it comes with there's cookbooks that you can get also. I found the cookbook that I found was like, I think their first cookbook, and I found that on Facebook Marketplace for like $5. So you guys can look on Facebook Marketplace or wherever else first, but I will link all of it in the description below so you can find it easily just for your own sake. The other thing is I did use a lot of the Trim Healthy Mama products only because I wanted to. You don't have to, and they do have lots and lots of ways that you don't have to use their products. This is not set up for you to like buy all their stuff and have to stick to this. You can go to the grocery store and buy everything you need, really. But I just wanted to do Trim Healthy Mama products at first, just to kind of see which ones I really liked, which ones I thought, man, I can buy those on Amazon or Whole Foods or Walmart and do that. Also, it's not that complicated where you have to go to those like high-end like chains of stores like that. You don't have to do that, but you totally can, okay? So after following this plan for all 7 days, I'm just gonna tell you guys what I ate for the first day, and then you'll kind of get an idea. So for breakfast day 1, I had an S breakfast. So I had like a cinnamon muffin, I had Greek yogurt, and I had coffee with cream and some berries, like raspberries. And then for lunch that day was an S as well. So all 3 meals the first day were S meals for me, which is high fat. But listen, for an S meal, I had a Joseph's pita, which is bread. S meal has bread, so there's your carbs, okay? And it was stuffed with turkey breast, which was perfect because it was right after Thanksgiving. I had a ton of turkey left. I didn't know what to do with it. Turkey breast, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and cheese. Come on now, tell me that doesn't sound like a good sandwich. And then you pair it with what they call a chocolate chip baby frap, which is also amazing. And I did record creating one of those for you guys, and you'll see that on Saturday. And then for dinner, I did a Cajun cream chicken, and I had that over some vegetables, and it was amazing. Like, filling, I was full. I wasn't hungry all day long. And then the next day I added an e-meal in, I think one day, and realized that e-meals for me, which are energizing meals, which are high carb, low fat, I end up getting hungry a lot sooner when I eat those type of meals than if I'm eating the S meals, which is like the high fat meals. So high fat meals hang out with me a lot longer. I feel more energy, more clarity, way less tired. I'm not drinking near as much coffee, y'all, which is huge. Because I was finding that, like, right now as I'm recording this, it's afternoon. You guys can see outside, at least in that window. And I was like super tired by what time is it? It's 2:30 right now when I'm recording this. And I haven't even thought about having a cup of coffee at all. And I had 2 S's for meals today, an S breakfast and an S lunch. And I am so content. So I've been able to eat like cheese. I've been able to eat sausage. I've been able to eat, you know, mayonnaise. Come on now, butter. I've been able to eat chocolate. I mean, like, there's nothing that's off limits on this plan, which I love. The only difference is you're eating those foods like the chocolate and the no-bake cookies that I told you guys about. You're eating all that you want, really, but you're just creating it with different ingredients than using white sugar, white rice, like not eating white potatoes, like figuring out ways around that. And you can have a little bit of those things in small portions, like after you hit your goal of, if your goal is weight loss. But in general, you're just kind of hanging out away from those things because they're really not good for your blood sugar. And Trim Healthy Mama was originally created as a plan for people who are interested in getting their blood sugar under control and not necessarily for the sake of vanity to lose weight, right? So once they discovered we have something here, like we figured out how to help people with their internal like health issues, not talking about mental, internal, I'm talking about like blood sugar, blood pressure, that kind of stuff. High cholesterol even. This is really good for people who battle with high cholesterol. Yes, high fat, good fats, healthy fats are so helpful for lowering bad cholesterol. We just don't know all these things. Like, some of us may know them, like, yeah, I might have heard that before, but the problem is there's so much contradicting that, like, one day coconut oil is good for you, the next day the experts are saying it's not good for you. So we kind of have to be like, okay, now who's telling the truth? Who's being real here? Like, I don't really know. But really, honestly, like, I love their book because it really just laid out exactly like God's design for food and how we can enjoy all of it and be able to eat it without this, like, I can't eat that, or, oh, I'm going to a party and there's going to be all this junk there and I don't know how, or there's a birthday, or there's a whatever. Like, there's ice cream in the cookbook, there is cakes, there's all kinds of stuff. So, like, if whatever it is you really like to eat, you can find a Trim Healthy Mama version of it and be able to eat that and still feel like you're not missing out on anything. Because even my kids, my husband, everybody ate with me the same things that I'm gonna show you guys later on, and everybody loved everything that I made. I did do some modifications, I think, to one of the meals where I did like a spaghetti and meatballs. So they had spaghetti noodles, I had something totally different, which you guys are gonna wanna hear about. Again, videos coming out on Saturday about that. So make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. If you're not, just a quick plug there, click that subscribe button. Please just give this video a quick thumbs up. It helps me out so much, helps this channel grow, and helps other people kind of discover what's going on out there in my world, and helps other people too. So thank you guys so much for doing that. But now I'm going to tell you guys real quick what I did and how I got the results. So after going through this menu, I just looked at everything that I needed to get. I went to the cookbook on some of them where it says like Cajun cream chicken. It tells you it's in the crock pot meals chapter of the cookbook. So I went to the cookbook and I pulled that recipe, and then I seen what ingredients I still needed, what ingredients I had in my home, and kind of made a checklist. Then I did a grocery order, a grocery pickup order at Walmart, went and grabbed all my stuff, had already purchased all my Trim Healthy Mama ingredients that I just wanted to have on hand anyway, like weeks prior to that. So that was already done. That was my prep work on Sunday. I started this on a Monday, and on Sunday I did all the prep work, because in anything that you do, you need to plan, because failure to plan leads to failure, right? Like, so I knew that. And so I needed to go and plan ahead of time, make sure I had the ingredients, make sure I kind of knew what I was doing. But I really didn't have the mental capacity to try and sit down and really plan the whole week out. So I did the ingredients for the whole week, but then I only focused on 1 or 2 days at a time, no more than 2 days at a time. So I would always like look at the next day and think, okay, I need to pull out chicken or whatever to have it thawed, but I didn't really do a bunch of meal prep. It was like also Christmas decorating time at my house, so there was a lot going on, you guys. So I'm excited to share all that with you on Saturday. And I did not record every single meal that I made for every, occasion for 7 days, because that was getting to be too much for me and the video was getting too long. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I didn't record everything I ate, but I did record quite a bit. So I weighed myself at the beginning also on that Monday, right before I started the plan, the way that it's laid out, at least in this first 7 days. And I weighed myself and I was shocked. I shouldn't have been. I kind of felt it. I felt it in my waist. I felt it in my shoulders. I felt it in my face. I felt it everywhere. But I was a little shocked. I was not happy with the number I saw on the scale. I was like, I have not been so good at all. I've just eaten trash and not been good anyway. And I didn't weigh myself again for the rest of the 7 days. I just said, hey, in my mind, I have a goal to lose 2 pounds. If I can lose 2 pounds, which is kind of a healthy number and you should stick to that, then I'm good. I'm happy with that. And Trim Healthy Mama, little disclaimer, does not advocate for quick, extreme weight loss. But what I'm getting ready to tell you guys is quick and extreme weight loss, only because I was already doing really bad beforehand. So, there is something that they call, initial swift weight loss. And that is what I experienced this past week. So I weighed myself the first day, and then I waited till right after day 7. I got on the scale day 8 in the morning, like I always do, like without a scrunchie in and all the things. And I stood on the scale and I was like, no way. Like I'm screaming. My daughter's like, are you okay? I was like, yes, I am okay. I lost 9 pounds, y'all. 9 pounds. What? I couldn't even believe it. Honestly, I could not believe it. I got off the scale and got back on the scale twice because I was like, 9 pounds. Did you guys see? That's what it sounded like. I was like, did y'all just see how I ate this week? 9 pounds? There's no way. But there was a way. And it said, yeah, I lost 9 pounds. So I was so thrilled because that took off all the weight that I had put on. And I actually went to the doctor. I had been experiencing some stuff I needed to go talk to him about sometime in October. And it was at the beginning of October. And we did a little weight, like they do, right? They do your weight. And he was like, he was talking to me and I said, I know I probably still need to lose some weight. I think my goal is to lose X amount more pounds. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea for you. I was like, why? He said, because you'd be too thin. I was like, oh, okay. He said, you're a pretty good healthy weight right now. I was like, well, that's news to me, but all right, good to know. And out I went. And then I went through a month, and then I went to go see my dad in Philadelphia, who's battling cancer. And I ate and ate and ate and ate and just ate. I just kept eating. And I was trying to cope, with all of this stuff going on emotionally. And I went back to the doctor when I got home from Philadelphia because a hairdryer exploded in my hand. You guys can still see the scar right here from it, but a hairdryer exploded in my hand. It could have killed me. I'm so thankful that the electricity didn't bite me 100% and I was able to let that thing go. But the electricity, just something happened in a cord inside. I don't even know. It was really wild because it wasn't like a gnarly looking hair dryer, nothing like that. It just exploded. And then I went to the doctor anyways for the follow-up after the emergency room visit, and he had me get on the scale. And it had been about a month and a half, and I'd gained like 7 pounds, I think, at that time. And he was really upset with me. He was like, excuse me, ma'am, we're gonna have to. It really upset my daughter too, because he's like, he just called you fat. I was like, well, honey, that's what happens. He said, if this amount of weight keeps coming on you in this short period of time, we need to check your thyroid. I said, sir, it's not my thyroid. I can guarantee you it's McDonald's, it's Culver's, it's pizza, it's chips. It's not my thyroid. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with my eating habits. And he's like, well, we're gonna check it anyway. And I was like, Okay, so I didn't let him check it that day because I know better. But my body gains weight super fast and then I lose it super fast, like the initial weight like that. Like now the rest of the time I would be highly surprised if that happened again this coming week and I was able to report that back to you guys again. Oh my goodness. I'd be like, okay, whoa, so I don't want to lose weight that fast for real. But I just lost it because it was a lot of water weight. I know it wasn't a lot of fat, but I do feel like that my stomach flattened back out. Like I was very bloated from just eating all the processed food and garbage that I was eating. And so changing and still eating and eating a lot. Now, I didn't count any calories. I didn't portion out one single thing, not one. I ate as much skinny chocolate as I wanted. I ate as much of those little no-bake cookies, and I lost 9 pounds. So come on now, that's crazy amazing. And I did not work out, okay, other than putting up my Christmas decorations, and I do cleaning motivation videos on another channel. So I did have that movement, of course, but that's normal movement for me. That was nothing new, nothing extreme, nothing different. I didn't even take walks. It's freezing cold last week, and I didn't even exercise. I didn't have time. So I'm just telling you guys, if you eat the right things in the right way, the right time basically for your body's going to start responding in a positive way. And that's what I've seen for sure. So I didn't take any supplements. I didn't take any, crazy pills. I didn't do anything other than eat real food in the right way, like where I didn't mix high carb, high fats and all that kind of stuff. And I ate everything, and I ate as much as I wanted, and I didn't even have one concern because I wanted to do that to see. This was my experiment. So I'm excited to share with you guys on Saturday all of it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me through this very long chatty video, but I was really excited and I just had to share it with you guys. So please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Check the description for the links if you guys are looking for yourself to start doing Trim Healthy Mama, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. I asked you to do that earlier, so if you haven't done it, what are you waiting for? Just subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and then you'll get notified every time I upload new content here on Catherine May. And if you guys want to know about my other channel, I'll put that in the description below as well.